Hi everyone, I'm Chung Wen for Godby Mobile, and in this video we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 edition. The Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 edition was introduced alongside the Galaxy Note 3 phablet, which we had previously reviewed. Both devices carry the same new Samsung design aesthetic with more angular lines and subtly rounded corners. We're going to go ahead and talk about the design in just a second. In this video, first, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Galaxy Note 10.1 and compare it to its predecessor, the original Galaxy Note 10.1. So this is the 2014 edition, and this is the old model, which doesn't have a year designation to it. Then we're going to go ahead and take a look briefly at some of the software that's included on the tablet, and in a separate video we're going to go ahead and cover the software features more in greater detail, so be sure to watch that video as well. Let's go ahead and get started and take a look at the hardware. On the front of the Galaxy Note 10.1 2014, which we're going to call the new Note at times during this review to just keep the naming convention short. So you're going to see the same 10.1-inch display on the old Note as the new Note, except for this time on the new Note you're going to have a much more detailed and rich screen because the screen is more high resolution. On the new Note, you're going to see that the display resolution is 2560 by 1600 pixels, which is the same resolution as that on the Nexus 10 from Google, which Samsung also makes. So compare the two. You're going to see that images and text on the new Note, which I have here on the top or on the bottom of the screen, is going to be a lot more crisp than on the old Note, which I have here on the top of the screen or underneath the new Note. So that's the first major improvement on the new Note. Also, when you're comparing both devices, you're going to see that the new Note actually is smaller in footprint despite packing in more power, including a higher resolution display. So you're going to see that when you're holding both devices in landscape orientation, that the new Note is more narrow in the width, shorter in the height, and also it's going to be a little bit more slim when you're taking a look at it from its side profile. Samsung has done a great job to make the new Note one of the slimmest full-size tablets on the market right now, so it's both slim and light, so it's actually a bantamweight competitor in a heavyweight category of tablets, full-size tablets. The new Note does have sharper, more angled lines, as you can see here, with subtly rounded corners, so it doesn't have some of the more fluid curves that are apparent on the older Note. Like the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, when you're taking a look at the side profile and this band that goes around the side, the band is actually plastic but is made to look like stainless steel or aluminum, so it does give it a more premium look and feel to the tablet. And like the Note 3, the band does have striations or grooves going around it, so it makes it kind of more comfortable and grippy to hold on to. On the rear of the tablet, you're going to have the same design that was introduced earlier this year, or earlier with the Note 3 that we recently reviewed. You're going to have a faux leather backing with a faux stitching that goes around the edges, so this adds to the luxury feel of the Note tablet when you're holding it in your hands. On the back, you have an 8-megapixel camera with a single LED flash that can also record 1080p videos, so it's actually the same camera that's on the Galaxy S3, which is last year's flagship smartphone. On the front, you do have an HD front-facing camera for video chatting, so this is good for talking to your friends using video on Google Chat or another video chatting application. It's a 2-megapixel camera on the front. And like other devices in the Note family from Samsung, you do have the S Pen, and this is the new S Pen this year. It does have the S button or the side button on the S Pen, which allows you to click and have additional functionality. New to the S Pen this year and new to the Note 10.1 2014 edition is this new Air Command menu, which activates when you pull out the pen from its socket. So there are now 5 additional features to the S Pen right on top of this UI that we're going to go ahead and cover in the second video of this review series for the Note 10.1 2014 edition. Also, this device, unlike the Note 10 or unlike the Note 3 in the US, this device actually runs on Samsung's octa-core processor, so it's an 8-core Exynos 5 processor. It's not a true octa-core in that only 4 cores are active at any given time, so if you're in a high-performance app or if you're playing a graphics intense game, the 4 full powered cores will activate on to give you the extra processing and graphics power that your task requires. And if you're not using the tablet for any intensive tasks, then the 4 lower powered cores kick in to help conserve battery life. I've used the Note 10.1 for roughly almost a week now, and this new tablet actually lasts between 7 and 10 hours on a single charge, depending on what you're doing at the time. So if you're using the cameras heavily, if you're connecting to the internet and streaming videos more, then you're going to get less battery life. But it's a solid performer with a great battery life, given that it does have a high resolution screen, plenty of horsepower under the hood, 3 gigs of RAM, and a very slim and elegant lightweight design. Like the other devices in the Note series, you're going to also have the S Note application, which will give you a tool to write, draw, and doodle, so you can use the S Pen. It's a pressure-sensitive pen, so you can go ahead and write. If you write lightly, you're going to get a thinner pen or brush stroke, and if you press in harder, you're going to get a darker or richer pen stroke. You can also convert your handwriting into text. So I'm going to go ahead and circle that, and then I can always convert that into type text. Unfortunately, it didn't read my handwriting too well there, but it did get the Be Mobile right. Samsung has also included a number of value-added applications with the Note 10.1 2014 edition. One of them is Bloomberg Business Week, which gives you access, it's actually a digital magazine, so it gives you access to similar content that's on the printed edition of the Bloomberg Business Week magazine. This is the digital edition, which comes with enhanced features such as videos that's not present if you're a print subscriber, obviously. So you do have a year subscription to Bloomberg. If you register the tablet, you're going to have extra goodies, including a year subscription to wireless hotspots globally when you're traveling. You're going to also have access, a time-limited edition access to the New York Times, and you're going to also have access to a number of other subscriptions, including 50 gigabytes of storage through Dropbox as well. So those are just some of the extra niceties that Samsung has added to the value of the Galaxy Note 10.1. The device actually starts at 16 gigabytes of onboard storage for $550, so it's priced $50 more expensive than the iPad at base retail. However, you do have a number of value-added features that enhance the value of this tablet. The device has 3 gigabytes of RAM, so you're going to have access to Samsung's award-winning simultaneous multitasking feature through the multi-window, where you can run 2 applications simultaneously side by side. So here we're going to go ahead and try and run 2 applications. And in addition, you can even run additional applications on top of these by using the Air command menu and then drawing the pen window. So this allows you to create floating windows on top. So I just moved the browser out. Let's go ahead and go and launch. So I have file browser here, Kayak, which is an application, and have the browser running on top, floating on top of the Galaxy Note 10.1 here. And you can have multiple floating windows on top of the display as well by drawing additional pen windows using the S Pen and the Air command menu. So this is a quick look around the hardware of the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 edition. I'm Chung Win for Gotta Be Mobile. Please join me in the next video review where we're going to talk more about the software of the Galaxy Note tablet in greater detail. Hi everyone, I'm Chung Win for Gotta Be Mobile, and in this video we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the software features that are present on the Galaxy Note 10.1. Like other devices in the Note series from Samsung, you're going to have access to the S Pen, which is Samsung's active digitizing stylus that's based on Wacom's technology for writing on the screen with great accuracy. It does have pressure sensitivity, so if you press in on the stylus harder, it's going to give you a thicker keystroke or drawing stroke when you're writing on the tablet screen. When you pull out the S Pen for the first time, you're going to notice that this new Air Command menu pops up. It's a radial menu that gives you access to new functions and features that are enabled through the S Pen. We're going to go ahead and cover all these different functions first, but hypothetically, if you already have the S Pen out and this menu doesn't pop up because you've been using the tablet, you've been navigating around, if you want to call up the menu, all you would have to do is hover the tip of the S Pen over the screen without touching it. And once you see the blue cursor on the screen, what you would want to do is click in on the side S button here. This is a plastic button that you can click in on the side of the S Pen. So hovering and then clicking, it's going to pull up the Air Command menu, and then from there you have access to those 5 functionalities. Let's go ahead and start from the left. We're going to go ahead and create an action memo. An action memo is similar to a post-it note. So when you're typically writing on a post-it, what you're doing is jotting down content such as a phone number, an email address, a web URL, or even a physical address. And what the action memo does is that it hyperlinks the content that you're jotting down to a specific app or application on your tablet. So if you're jotting down an address, rather than writing it just on the memo and then having to launch Google Apps or Google Maps later and then trying to search for the address, what it does is it just hyperlinks the address. So I'm going to just go ahead and jot down my friend Xavier's address. And let's say he lives on 500 Market Street in San Francisco. So rather than having to save this post-it and then going into the Google Maps application and then remembering 500 Market Street, San Francisco, and then searching for that, it's going to save me a couple of steps. Now what I can do is I can go ahead and link the content in here, and then go ahead and I can link it to the Maps application. So once I do that, it's going to automatically open the maps and pre-populate Google Maps with 500 Market Street, San Francisco, or whatever favorite mapping application or program that you use. So I don't want to link Xavier, I just want to link the address. So it automatically found 500 Market Street, San Francisco. And this actually saved me a couple of steps rather than having to pre-populate to open Google Maps and then having to search for it right now. So that's S Pen, and then you can go, and it actually minimizes after you launch the Google Maps application. So now you can pull it up to make sure that everything was entered correctly. I'm going to go ahead and just save that right now. You can also launch or save a web URL as well as telephone numbers, and you can add the telephone numbers to your contacts. So let's say Xavier gave me this URL to this great website. So rather than, now that I've jotted down, rather than now having to open the browser and then trying to remember the URL, entering in the URL and then hitting go, all I would have to do with Action Memo is now I can go ahead and link it to my internet browser. And it would search for gottomemobile.com. And it looks like it did a good job, but if I'm not sure, I can go ahead and launch the action memo here from the minimize state to verify that the URL was entered correctly. And then if it is, I can go ahead and close it, or I can save it and then continue navigating that way. So that's action memo. It gives you an actionable way to make or to activate hyperlinks on your post-it. The second feature that's enabled with S Pen is a scrapbooker application. So with Scrapbooker, I'm going to go ahead and open the browser again. If I'm navigating any web page or even an ebook or magazine, and I find content that I like, I don't have to take a whole screenshot. All I would have to do is save whatever I like. So if I like this HTC Evo 4G LTE, rather than having to take a screenshot of the entire screen, what I can do is just launch my Air command, go to Scrapbooker, and then I can select the content that I like. So unfortunately, this is going to take the entire screen. Let's go ahead and try that again. So it's going to save it to my scrapbook, and when it does that, it's going to save the hyperlink as well. So this way, I can go ahead and reference Gotomy Mobile later, or go back to the specific website about the pictures or images. I'm going to go ahead and just quickly save that. I already have a few content saved to my scrapbook. We're going to go ahead and launch that and open it. And you can organize your scrapbook into various different categories. So I have photography, home design. I'm going to go ahead and launch tech. So you can see this is the image I saved. The web URL here is also saved. And in addition to just static images and text, you can also save videos. So here's the Galaxy Note hands-on that Samsung had created.
We at Samsung Mobile have just introduced the Galaxy Note 3 along with the Galaxy Gear.
So you can play the video inside the gallery.
Quick look at some of the key features.
Or you can open the URL and play it in either the browser or your YouTube application. So Scrapbook allows you to quickly and creatively clip content that you like. So rather than I surf the web a lot and I usually find a lot of content that I like, I can save specific content without having to bookmark everything, and it gives me a very visual way to viewing the content that I like. So it's going to give me this kind of like it's a Pinterest for everything that you save as far as the content that you like with the Galaxy Note 10.1. ScreenWrite is a quick way to just take a snapshot or a screenshot of your screen, and then this way you can go ahead and annotate this. So it allows you to quickly take a screenshot, and then you can go ahead and write and draw on it. You can make notes on it, and it just allows you a more creative way to take your screenshots. The next feature is called S-Finder, and S-Finder is a universal search tool. It's going to allow you to have different categories to filter through, and it's going to allow you to search both the content that's typed and also the handwritten content. So remember the note that we saved about Xavier's address? Let's go ahead and try to find it. And you can see that it did actually search through my handwritten notes. So this is on my action memo. where I wrote Xavier and his address. So it actually was able to find Xavier even though that was a handwritten note and not a typed text. And the last feature of the Air command menu that we're going to cover today is called the pen window. The pen window is unique in that it allows you to multitask even further, taking advantage of the octa-core processor and the 3 gigabytes of RAM. It allows you to draw a rectangle, and then from there it's going to allow you to have a floating window for whatever application you like. So you can have a floating YouTube window. So if you're, browsing the web or checking email, you can go ahead and watch a video in this little window here, and you can move it around. You can also even resize the window. And then once you're done, you can minimize the window. So this way it's always on top. Even if you're in a different application, it's going to stay on top. So this way, if I just wanted to focus on browsing the web, I can go ahead and do that and then quickly open up my YouTube video once I'm done. Or if I wanted to change task. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit smaller again. And you can launch multiple pen windows by continuing to draw rectangles. So you can have multiple pen windows, and this will allow you greater flexibility in multitasking. And this is on top of being able to multitask the traditional way using the multi-window view, which Samsung introduced on the Galaxy Note 2. So this allows you to actually have two applications run side by side. On this year's Galaxy Note series, what Samsung has done is it allows you to launch two of the same apps side by side. I'm going to go ahead and minimize these, so we're going to go ahead and take a look. So here I have two browsers running side by side, which is something that I couldn't have done on the old Galaxy Note 10.1. And of course, I can run two different apps side by side as well. Another cool feature about the Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 edition, let's go ahead and close this out first. And you can also go full screen if you want. Is that Samsung has introduced a competitor to HTC's Blink feed. So this aggregates all your news, your social media content, any personal items that you have saved, as well as some of the here and now content, which is just local content to help you discover what's going on around your area. So here and now is this new My Magazine is actually a very visual way of exploring various different content. And this is the new S Note application. It allows you to draw, write, doodle, or scribble any notes. You can also include pictures, graphics, audio recording as well. So it's actually a digital notebook. What's new compared to the old Galaxy Note 10.1 is that the interface is now a lot cleaner. It's more minimalist and takes a flatter 2D approach rather than trying to emulate a notebook look and feel. The nice thing this year is that rather than having to predetermine if you're going to do a drawing or if you're going to write and try to convert your handwritten text to typed text, you can actually go ahead and just start writing without having to worry about that. And then you can select what you want to convert, and then you can go ahead and transform that. And if you're like me and can't draw a perfect circle, this will help you transform your doodles into something that's more manageable. I'm Chun-Wen for Gotta Be Mobile. Thanks for watching me in this video, taking a look at some of the software of the Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 edition. Be sure to check out our video of the hardware of this new tablet, as well as check out our full review on gottabemobile.com of the 2014 edition of the tablet, as well as the new Galaxy Note 3. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.
You can preset the S Pen setting to suit your style. And use the setting conveniently with S Pen button. You can even pick up a color from an image to preset on your S Pen. Easy Clip. It's gotten easier to capture and crop images to share or to store in a scrapbook for quick access. So here I'm going to go into the Samsung mobile site. I have a friend named Alex who's really into Samsung mobile products. So I've seen this Galaxy Note 10.1 image that I want to share with him. So I'm going to press down the button here, click freely around the edge, and then I'll have some options of where I can send this to. But I want to send a text message, so I'll click on Messaging, and from here I can type in my friend, Alex. And just as quickly as that, I can now send him the message. Real easy. So let me show you another way you can use this feature called Easy Clip. I've been shopping around for clothes for my girlfriend, so let me open up this site. I think this would be a nice shirt for her. So again, I'll click on the S Pen button and trace right around the shirt like this. And then this time, instead of sending it, I'm going to open it up in Scrapbook. So now I can go into my S Notes and then write down on my scrapbook where I've been storing all sorts of dresses and clothes I found for my girlfriend. So I'm just going to add a little star next to this one. Just like that, I've got another cool item for her.